Okay. I landed.
Tell me where you are.
I'm unsure. Um, it looks like a clearing. There's patches of grass, but there are parts that are missing that's sort of like sandy, and it's not a place where a lot grows, at least not where I'm standing.
You see any structures or buildings or anything like that?
No,
And what are you standing on? Are you standing on grass? Are you standing on sand?
it's dirt. Pale, pale dirt.
Standing on pale dirt. Okay. And so as you look down at the ground and see that pale dirt, what do you see where your feet would be? Do you see that you have feet? Do you not have feet? Do they look human? Do they not look human?
They do. I'm
Okay.
wearing sandals.
Do they look
Like,
like male feet or female feet?
my initial impression was male, like Jesus sandals, like
Oh, okay.
those sandals.
Okay. And what about on your body? What do you have on for clothing?
It's light garb. It's very light. It's almost, I want to call it like a cream beige tunic. I think I'm a man. I'm a man.
Okay. And do you feel healthy or unhealthy?
I feel fine. I think I'm young.
Okay. So you feel healthy and young. And do you said you feel young. Do you feel like you're carrying anything or have anything in your hands?
I just got the image of like a canteen, like a
Okay.
canteen, something like a container that holds some sort of liquid. I have it strapped around me,
Okay.
around my shoulder.
And do you have anything on your head?
No, I don't think so. I think I have curly hair.
Ah, okay. And what color is your skin?
Uh, it's tannish. It's very tannish color.
And if you were to take just where you're standing there on that pale dirt and take a snapshot of your life at that exact moment, what descriptive words would you use to describe your life?
Mm. I get the feeling of a traveler.
Okay.
Um, I'm not getting much else.
As far as feelings about your life, would you say that it feels fulfilled and happy? Is it unhappy? Is it busy? Is it hard? Is it easy?
I feel like he's searching for something. I almost feel like he's bored, he's searching for something. I have the image of a woman. There's a flash, maybe he's looking for a woman, like traveling towards a woman. Mm.
And let's do this. Let's go forward to wherever he ends up, where his destination is, wherever he's traveling to. Let's go to that place. And now that we're there, where did he end up?
I think he's at a he's eating.
Oh, okay. And where is he eating at?
I think there's I think there's other people there.
Is he inside, outside?
It seems like okay, it seems like it's where he's sitting, it's technically covered, but you can see into the outside. Like there's
Okay.
a wall that's not there.
Okay. What's the weather like?
It's sunny, but I get the feeling that it rains a lot.
That it rains a lot? Okay. And is he sitting with anyone eating or is he eating alone?
I think he's eating with someone, and I think they have it's a man, and I think he has like a scroll, like a oh, it's like a cylinder, and that's strapped to that other guy's back. They're having a conversation.
The cylinder is strapped to the other guy's back, you said?
Yes, it's like a container of sorts. Like maybe it has like a scroll, or at first I thought it was a scroll.
Oh, okay. Do you get the feeling that there's something important in that cylinder container or not? It was just something you noticed.
Mm. Uh, he's grabbing my arm. He's he's like lightly squeezing my forearm. Um, I might just be feeling that in my physical body, like someone is touching me.
So, going back to the cylinder that's strapped to his back, does it feel like there's something important in that cylinder, or do you think it's just you just happen to notice it?
I think it's important to him. It's important to him. It's not particular to my life. I
Okay.
think they're just old friends catching up.
Oh, okay. Okay. And do you feel like in this life, do you feel like you have a family? You said you were young, so you may not. I don't know. But do you feel like you have a family of your own or parents that you are close to or anything like that?
I don't know.
Let's do this. Let's leave that scene where you were sitting there eating a meal with your friend. Let's leave that scene and let's move forward to an important day or a memorable time in your life. A day that you consider to be important in that lifetime when something is happening. So we've now moved forward to that important or memorable day. What is happening and what do you see?
He's on a chariot. See, he might have been like a gladiator or something.
Okay.
See
And
him
how
on
is
a,
he dressed?
mm, it's hard to tell. He's he's very built, very built. He's got a slight beard, probably like an inch off his face, inch off his face. It's really built.
And what is the feeling or emotions that you have flowing through you as you're riding on that chariot?
Like he's serious. Like he's very serious. He's focused.
And let's follow that chariot to wherever it's going, whether it's back someplace and he's just going to park it and rest the horses, or if he's actually going somewhere. Where, if you move forward, where does the end of that particular chariot ride take you?
It kind of feels like he's in a like an arena. I feel like he's cautious. He's nervous. He's nervous.
What's happening in the arena? Is it like some sort of competition or something? Or games or
Yeah,
sport?
yeah. I was like he's afraid of something. I don't know if he's supposed to fight because he just feels nervous.
Is there anyone else in the arena, or does anyone else enter
No,
into the arena?
there's there's another person. He just doesn't see them yet. There's people like watching, like they're spectating in the arena, and I think he's one of the competitors or something.
Okay. Okay, let's do this. Let's leave that scene and let's move forward to another important day. So, a day that you consider something memorable or important to be taking place. And now that we've moved forward to another important day, what is happening and what do you see?
Mm. He's he's in a small home, and there's a young woman. She's she's fair skinned. I think he likes her. I think no, I think they're married.
Okay.
Mm.
And how does he feel about her?
Like he wants to kiss her.
Mhm. This might be his wife.
It's some love interest, at least.
Okay.
She's very flirtatious.
Mhm. And let's just take a tiny, tiny little detour. Let me just ask, what do you feel like you do with the majority of your time during the days?
I don't know why I feel like he's a messenger of sorts. Like he takes messaging. I think that was the purpose of the scroll. I think the scroll was important. Yeah, I think he's like a messenger in his day to day. Like he delivers messages for someone important.
Okay. And now let's do this. You said you were in that small home and there was a young woman who was fair skinned there. Let's leave that scene and let's move forward to one more important or memorable day. So, a day that you consider to be important when something is happening. And now that we've moved forward to that important day, tell me what is happening and what do you see?
He's at sea, like he's on the water. Yeah, like he's on the water. Like he saw something in the water. He thinks he saw a mermaid.
Mm. Why does he think that?
He saw a tail.
And what about what kind of boat is he in? What does that boat look like?
It's not a big boat at all. It's like a more like an enlarged rowboat of sorts. Like a like the boats that they strap onto the side of big boats. Like he was
Okay.
going to like shore or something. It was small.
Is he with other people?
Mm. Yes, he was a burly man with long, thick, like almost black hair. The guy's laughing at him.
Why is he laughing? Because he thought he saw a mermaid?
Yes.
Did he really see a mermaid? Or did he just think he did?
I'm unsure. I want to believe he did. He was afraid of it. He was fascinated, but he was afraid of it.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's move to the time in that lifetime to just before he takes his last breath. So, however long in the future that may be, maybe years, maybe not long, but to the time just before he takes his last breath in that lifetime. And now that we're there, I want you to tell me what is happening. Where is he and what's going on?
He's panicking. There's fire. There's like screaming and there's fire all around him. He's panting. Oh, he's distraught.
How did he get in that situation?
I think my whole body just tingled. I think he didn't do something correctly. He didn't deliver something in time. He wreaked havoc in some way.
So did somebody purposely burn him then?
No, no, it's the area around him. There's fire.
Oh, okay.
It's like they're burning like a it honestly looks like it's a big like it's Rome or Greece or something. And then like things are being burned down. He made a mistake. He's distraught. I think they killed his his wife or his love interest. He's scared. He's running. He's being chased down. He tripped.
Is that why he's um, panicking because he tripped and now he's in the middle of this fire, or did something else happen?
And he's scared he's going to die.
Okay.
Scared, he's so scared.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's leave that scene and move forward just a little bit in time to the time after he took his last breath and his soul has left his body. So I want you to go to the time where you're looking down at that scene and down at the lifeless body now and tell me what it is that you see. Describe the scene.
Mm. Shot through the heart. It was fitting. They took his love from him.
So, who was it and why did they kill him?
I think it was just like a rampage. Like they were burning everything. Like the whole city got it. It wasn't him, like the village, like the place that he lived was attacked. It wasn't just about him. It was human.
And so, what is he thinking now that he's out of the body, looking down at that scene? How is he feeling, or what thoughts are going through his mind?
I think he's just sort of observing. I don't think he believes he's dead. He's trying to breathe, but he knows he's not in his body anymore. He's
So, what is,
rising.
I'm sorry?
He's rising.
Oh, okay, that's what I was going to say. What does he do next? He starts rising up.
Yeah, it's involuntary. He's rising. He's gazing down. He doesn't want to go back. There's nothing left to go back to. He's amongst the stars. He's looking back down at Earth, and he's dissolving.
What do you mean by
Feels
dissolving?
It's like becoming one with the rest of existence. He doesn't feel alone. He feels at peace.
So
Everything is okay.
as he becomes one with the rest of existence, does he still remember that life very much, or is it just kind of fading away, or how does that work?
It fades away as he fades away, as he dissolves, as he watches. Time goes by as he watches the earth. It goes by faster as he rises, as he lifts out of earth. And he was watching his body, he watched as time went by very quickly as he rose. And little by little, he forgot who he was and what his life was. And and he eventually became at peace. He became one with Source again. But his final thought was seeing her again. And I think they're together. Like they stand next to each other in Source. Like if in the placement of all the universe, you had all these molecules, they were two little molecules next to each other. That's how he feels.
Mm.
It makes me want to cry.
That goes to show you that when someone leaves you on the earth, you get to reunite with them, and it'll be a happy reunification, huh?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's drift away from that life now. We're drifting and floating away from that life, leaving that man there to continue on his own journey. He will find peace. He will find what he's supposed to find. We're leaving him there to continue on his own journey. Again, he will find peace. He will find what he's supposed to find. We're leaving him there to continue on his own path. And now I want all of the consciousness and personality of Nita to once again return to the body and fully integrate back into the body. And may I speak to Nita's higher self, please?
Yes.
I have permission to speak to Nita's higher self.
Yes.
I respect the power of her higher self because I know that it takes care of Nita's body and does a very good job of it. And I also know that her higher self has the records of everything that has ever happened to her in this lifetime and all other lifetimes that she's ever lived. So I respect the power of the higher self. And I always ask for permission to speak to it and ask questions. Do I have permission to also ask questions of her higher self?
Yes.
I know that her higher self could have brought forth many different lifetimes for Nita to see today, and you chose to bring forth this lifetime as that man to see. Why did you pick that lifetime?
She's had an affinity for Greece. I wanted to show her why. She wants so desperately to go there.
Go where?
Greece.
Oh,
She'll feel more connected there. He is a messenger, and we have messages for her there.
mm. So it's someplace she should consider going to?
Yes, she should go there.
Does she have any unhealed trauma or pain or anything left over from that lifetime, or it was pretty much all resolved or healed at some point?
It was resolved. Yes, it was all resolved.
Does she have any issues in her body on any level that she did come here in this lifetime to heal that could be left over from any other life that this soul has ever experienced?
That past life, the way he died, he was shot through the chest, through his heart. She has a constant tightness in her chest, like she cannot breathe. It's from the way he died.
So now that we've discovered the root cause of that, are you, as her higher self, able to heal that in her body right now?
It's something that will come with time. It is an anxiety over death.
So you're not able to heal that and remove it for her. You want her to do it on her own.
Yes,
Why?
she becomes greater if she does it on her own. It is motivational for her. When she achieves something, she keeps going. She becomes greater. Her growth is exponential. If I were to do it, then that would be the end of it. There would be nothing left to learn because I gave her the answer. I solved the puzzle for her. But if she does it, she doesn't just get the answer. She gets a key to a series of other questions that she can answer. A journey of self-discovery.
So, in terms of the age of this soul that we're talking about now, if we were to have a timeline and say a brand new soul is on the far left of this timeline and an ancient soul is on the far right, where does she fall on that timeline in terms of age of her soul?
She's a bit more experienced. That's why she chose a life that was more difficult. She really went in this time.
And we're going to get to a lot of what she experienced in just a little bit because there was a lot that she experienced in this lifetime. But before we get there, I wanted to ask if you are able to upgrade her frequency now so that she can be at the highest frequency possible, energetically frequency, during the rest of this session. Are you able to do that for her?
Yes.
Would you show her what that looks like and tell us what you're doing as you do it?
I'm sending a spiral around her. She's a fan of she's a fan of Sailor Moon, so I'll use a wand. It's a wand that has a crescent moon at the top, and I'm spinning it around her like a ribbon. It's glittering red, and it's raising her up. The ribbon is embracing every part of her body until it absorbs into her, and she can breathe easier. She's smiling. She's so pretty.
Thank you for that upgrade. How many spirit guides does she have?
8,
How many guardian angels?
2.
Have any of the guides ever been in human form that she's maybe had a life experience with, or no?
As in, are they alive with her now?
No, meaning has she ever incarnated with any of the guides in any lives before?
Yes.
How many of those guides has she incarnated with before?
It's hard to say. I want
Okay.
to say I want to say 3. It's not clear.
Okay. Have any of them been alive with her here in this lifetime and then gone on to help be a guide for her, or were they from other lifetimes she's experienced?
She's doubting herself.
Let's just put the personality in the corner and leave the personality of Nita in the corner so that we can hear clearly through the higher self and channeling just her higher self, and ask Nita to just quietly listen, and let's just hear what the answers are.
Her grandmother. Her grandmother, she called her Bella. She passed, and she stayed.
Does her grandmother ever give her, or any of her, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let me just ask this. Um, do any of her guides have any messages for her in her life right now?
We want to encourage her not to give up, that things are difficult right now, but they are going to get better. She feels like everything is taking forever, but she just found spirituality. And it's okay. It's going to take a minute to get all of this through your head. And you don't need to do all of it in one sitting. It takes time. She's more wounded than others, and it is going to take her more time to get through those wounds. She is resilient as much as she hates the word, but that does not make her superhuman. She needs to learn to sit with her pain and to embrace it because pain is not bad in the slightest. It helps her learn and grow.
What can she do to see, hear, touch, feel, know, and understand her spirit guides more clearly?
I know she doesn't want to hear this, but she needs time. She needs to meditate. She needs to go out into the sun. She needs to go on walks. She needs to relax. She needs to have days where she does nothing but go in the sun and take a walk on the grass, meditate, and relax. No phones, no TikTok, no YouTube, just her and nature. Just them two.
Does Nita have any waywards, dark energies, dark entities, or demons attached to her or in her space at all?
She's protected.
So that means she doesn't.
No, it just means that she's protected. She's
So,
afraid, and her fear can attract these things. The man she met, A, I believe we're calling him,
mhm.
he said something to her that has resonated with her. Because although he was not religious in any way, he was, in fact, very spiritual, or at least very wise. He said, you shouldn't fear anything, because if you fear something that much, then it will come to fruition. She is essentially hexing herself by fearing something like that so badly. She needs to understand that she is protected. I am here. Her spirit guides are here. We are constantly with her. She could be sleeping or going to the bathroom and we'll still be here. We love her unconditionally.
Are you able to remove any attachments, dark energies, dark entities, or demons that may be in her space right now and send them to Creator's light?
Yes.
Could you do that now, please? Send them to Creator's light, all of them, and then tell us what you're doing as you do it.
We're taking the wand we used before to heal. And this time, we're going to take that wand and we're extending it into a staff. I'm lifting it up high. And I'm sending a bright white, shimmering energy, and I'm spinning it around around her body, and I'm centering it at her sacral chakra so that she'll know. And from there, we're detonating a giant, bright, white bomb that sends everything that does not work at her highest good back to source. It is explosive and full of love and light and happiness. I'm giving her a kiss on the forehead so that she knows she's safe and we will protect her and that she can do this herself. She is protected.
So could she use that same imagery that you just gave that I typed out for her so she can always refer to it about the white, bright, shimmering energy spinning around her, centering it in her sacral chakra, and from there detonating a giant, bright, white bomb that sends everything that does not work in her highest good back to source? Can she use that anytime she feels like she might have any dark energies, dark entities, demons, anything like that around her? And I'm guessing as long as she doesn't use it in a fearful state, would that be true?
Yes, she needs to be in a calm state. If she's panicking, the only thing she's going to detonate is more panic. That's only going to attract more. So she needs to remain calm and collected, not detached. She needs to remain calm and collected. And she needs to take some deep breaths, hold it in about 6 seconds, at least 6 seconds, and then conjure the emotion of love. It could be love for her family, for her friends, for her son, for her pets. But she conjures that feeling of love and protection in the way that you would want to protect your loved ones. And then she detonates. Because if she detonates any other feeling, she's just going to spread that feeling. Not even just around her, also around her environment, the people around her, her neighbors, her animals could be affected. But she's good now.
So, would it benefit her to be psychically, spiritually protecting herself, shielding herself on a daily basis so that she doesn't allow these things into her space?
Yes, however, she needs to be careful. The more she knows, the more she's going to need to protect herself. She needs to be very careful with what she delves into, and she needs to be well educated. She knows this. She needs to come at this with a sort of Capricorn, hardworking perspective, because although some people can just magically have their abilities, she needs to work for them. It is research, it is meditation, it is calming your mind. She needs to peel. I believe you told her, uh, you said something about
An onion?
onion. Yes, onion and layers. And she needs to peel away at those layers in order to get to those abilities. Because as she is right now, she is so afraid of the unknown that, like we said, she could detonate that fear. And imagine if we gave her the ability to see everything, to see spirits, to see us. Imagine if we gave her that ability and she wasn't ready. she would detonate fear. Her fear of becoming her mother would become a self-fulfilled prophecy. She needs to acclimate herself, learn more. She can do this. It's just going to take time. And that's okay. She's still young. She thinks she's 25 and ancient. She's okay. She has time.
And so protecting herself every day, I'm sorry, getting back to my original question, protecting herself or shielding herself every day, maybe even if it's just in white light, would that be something, it's kind of just like a ritual, just, oh, I'm zipping up my shield of white light around me. Would that be beneficial for her?
Yes, she also needs to research a little bit more uh, thorough methods of protection because that is a good way, a good standard way to do it every day. She has been doing her incense every day as well to accompany that, wrapping herself in a shimmering white light. She does do that. She does that for herself and her loved ones. She also needs to, if she does wish to participate in witchcraft and things of that nature, manipulating energy, before she does anything else, she needs to learn how to protect her space and using different methods in witchcraft to do that in whatever way that is, such as spells, banishments. Not that there's anything particularly around her at this moment, but as a beginner, she does tend to attract a lot of negative energy because she's still in that negative mindset. Like I said, you manifest what it is that you think about. So she needs to begin the process of thinking more positively. She needs to change her mindset. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel really weird to just essentially, it's going to feel like she's lying to herself when she feels a negative emotion. She needs to change it. She needs to smile. She needs to do positive affirmations about how she's choosing to feel, and then she can move forward. But with this current fear that she has, this panic, she can't fully develop anything with that fear and that panic. It would only lead to mayhem if we just handed it to her.
Will healing herself from her past wounds and traumas aid her in not having so much fear?
Yes. However, her particular fear is not of what can be seen. It is of what cannot be seen. So there is an aspect that she needs to do, which is to become more social within the spiritual realm and essentially becoming a more active part of the community when learning, because there's only so much that you can do on your own. And in order, one of the best ways to dismantle fear is to talk about it with someone who does not fear whatever it is that scares you. So if she can find that community, find those people, we're attracting them to her now. We're leading her that direction. She's going to be able to stop being afraid. She's going to be able to tackle whatever it is that she needs to. So that way, should anything happen, should she ever meet the thing that she fears, She will not freeze up. She will be fully aware, ready, calm, and collected when she faces it. She's a boss, and she knows it.
She wants to have an upgrade in her psychic abilities to allow her to better communicate, interpret, and discern messages if they're from her higher self, her spirit guides, her angels, her ancestors, and be able to discern whether or not they are positive messages and entities talking to her and not just negative ones disguising themselves as good. Are you able to help her with that discernment?
We want her to learn how to discern. That's something that she has to come across on her own. However, what we can do is tell her what it is that she needs to do in order to essentially earn that discernment, which is meditation. Her mind is cluttered and hectic. A brilliant idea can quickly be swept away in the mess of, well, her life. So, what she can do in order to get better discernment is to have points of time in the day. It could be a simple 5 minutes here and there throughout the day where she takes the time to ground herself and breathe in silence. She needs to go out and reconnect with nature. It's something very difficult to do within the city, but within her home, she very rarely steps outside. It'll be maybe once a week that she'll step outside briefly to get into a car in order to go to the grocery store. It's very hard to connect with you when there's nothing to connect to. You're constantly distracted, your mind racing. So in order to get this full upgrade, it will come. It can come so quick if she just gets out in nature. But we can't just give it all to her right now. Her head's already hurting.
Mhm. So, like I talked about with, sorry, with connecting with trees, would that be something, obviously, since it's nature, would that be something that would really be good for her? And can the trees help her in regard to healing and increasing her spiritual abilities?
Yes, and she needs to have times of relaxation. She gets in this mindset of go, 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 and then she just stops altogether, like she's done for like 3 days. And then she'll do it again. She'll get her inspiration back, and then she'll go, 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 and then she'll be done for 3 days. She needs to reach a better balance. This isn't working for her. She's going, she busts a move and then she busts her ass. Sorry. But
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry, you go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry. So she wanted to know if she can have a program downloaded in her that would alert her when she's receiving or hearing from not entities who are not in her best and highest good or receiving psychic misinformation. She was wondering if you could give her like the sensation of a double tap on her right elbow or something like that. Is that possible that you could do that for her?
We can send it. She has to be receptive of it. Like she has to be paying attention for it. Because there are messages that can come when, say, for example, she could be scrolling through TikTok and a message was delivered to her that was not intended for her, but rather for someone else in the room or just someone else in general. And if we tap her, she might not be paying attention. So she needs to learn not to doubt us as well because we're constantly communicating with her. We're constantly sending her angel numbers, and because she sees them so often, it's almost like she's gotten used to it. And she needs to not get used to it because that's how we communicate. Because in other ways, her mind is too hectic. The only thing she really pays attention to is things like angel numbers, her bodily sensations. She's constantly in this sort of state of fight or flight. She's got cortisol running through her all the time. Peeling those onion layers back, doing some serious shadow work, particularly getting back into therapy, which her best friend has been trying to get her to do, and we support that decision, is going to help her so much in receiving that discernment between us and other entities, low vibrational energies. But very typically, she can feel them. She knows. She gets this sort of this icky feeling somewhere between like her chest and her sacral. She feels like this almost like, how do we put this? It's almost like you're banging two pans together. You're going bang, 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 and it sort of like causes that like gross feeling in her chest. So she knows. She knows when something is way off and not intended for her. And good on her. She realized that there's something not right with the tarot. We wanted to see if she could figure out if it was us or the trickster. She did really good, and we're really proud of her. She did really, really great. We just want her to know that this is a work in progress. She's getting it done. She's amazing, and she really wants ugh, she wants a little bit of everything all the time, and she really needs to relax and just take it easy. It's okay. Like, you're gonna get what you want. You're gonna get more than what you asked for. You just gotta be a little more patient. That's why she's here in this lifetime. That's what she's here to learn is patience. She is resilient, but she also needs to be patient. I know, agony, but she'll be fine.
Okay. So you are going to send it. That little kind of double tap. She just needs to do all the
Yes,
things you said.
yes, yes. We're going to send it and we'll see if she is receptive. But she has to pay attention. She can't immediately start going, "Oh, it's just an itch." She can't deny it.
Okay. Does she have any curses, hexes, or spells on her?
Her family, I'm unsure if it was intended or not. I want to say it was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Her mother's side is not very fond of her. She was very selfless in a way that they could not be. She had a true beauty that they could just never attain, and um, they refused to see that beauty, and instead they ended up having these feelings of resentment towards her ever since she was a child. It wasn't even her fault. So through this negative emotion, you can accidentally hex someone. You could wish someone ill will. You could call someone something awful and truly feel that in your heart. Um, you can bear ill will towards someone, and that simple feeling could be strong enough to actually hex her. But what particularly happened to her is she went so long in her life constantly saying, I'm unlucky, that she actually did become unlucky. So she's essentially hexed herself a little bit. She has gotten through that. She's in a much better state of mind. She did end up removing that. She calls her power to her back every now and again. So that's good for her. As for what her family has done, um, that's that's easy to dispel, and we could do that for her.
Okay, could you do that now, please, and tell us what that looks like?
Okay. We're taking the wand from before, the crescent moon. It has a very sharp tip upon the moon. And I'm going to take that and I'm radiating a sort of pink, a very bright pink, sparkly energy, a vibration, a light. And I'm going to go from the top of her crown and I'm going to slice that directly in the middle of her, cutting away this black, almost like a carving away this sort of like hard substance around her that has kept her trapped for so long. I'm carving it out, almost like a laser on metal. We're carving her free. We're slicing it all the way down the middle and then up the back, then horizontally to where there are 4 pieces. And now we're removing each one. We're taking these pieces, we're settling them, we're stacking them in a separate place. And then we're drawing a circle around this pile of negative energy. When we draw this circle, this beautiful white light, this circle bubbles up into a sphere, encapsulating it. And as soon as I tap it with the wand, the negative energy trapped inside dissipates and becomes a wonderful, it becomes one with the rest of the light. So now it is just a beautiful pink orb, which we are going to put back now. We're sort of just rubbing it on her like it's lotion. It tingles like a soothing sensation. There, now she feels love. That's all it is, pure love.
That was beautiful. Does she have any Draco AI technology or any implants in her?
We're unfamiliar with what that is. Yeah, we're unfamiliar with what that is.
So if you do a body scan on her for any type of implants at all, do you sense any implants in her?
I mean, she has an IUD. We want her to remove it. It's causing her pain, unnecessary pain, emotional and physical. We want her to remove that, but I don't think that's what you're referencing.
No, I guess I'm talking about anything that was given to her from any dark energies, any dark entities or any ETs, races, anything like that, any sort of implants
No, I
trapped
definitely
or
don't.
otherwise. Okay.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't feel any sort of extraterrestrial implant or device.
Okay. Where does she incarnate for most of her lives? Does she incarnate mostly or totally on Earth or kind of all over the place? Or what's her favorite place to incarnate?
Let's see. Arcturus? Mm,
So she identifies mostly with the Arcturians.
mm, pu- it's hard to It's hard to see. I think she's. Sit back down. I would say Arcturian.
Okay.
Who is blue? Whoever the other blue.
I think the Pleiadians are blue, but I'm not 100%.
Hmm. Ser Sirius?
Oh, okay. The blue
Perhaps.
skies.
They're blue. That's all I can say. She keeps she had a dream once where she had met blue-skinned astral extraterrestrial, and
Ah,
they ended up having a little love story in this dream, and she is not the type of person for sci-fi aside from Doctor Who. So that might have been significant.
okay. Yeah, my hypnosis client last night described a past life of hers where she was the blue-skinned individual. So that's very interesting. So she did have a dream one time where she looked in a mirror and her reflection didn't reflect back exactly what she was doing. It was doing something different. And then this thing, this nasty looking thing, crawled out of the mirror that was huge and chased her and came after her while she was running and kept telling her, "You can't escape me. We were warriors together. You can't leave me. I'm part of you." Did that dream have any significance or meaning or message for her? Or what
Every,
was that about?
every dream has some significance or other. This one in particular was reflective of herself, of her shadow self, the part that she, how do I put this? When you look in the mirror and you see something flicker from the corner of your eye and you question yourself, did that move? Did that move when I didn't move? In her mind, what she is seeing is her shadow self. She is seeing a different version of herself. This this part of herself that she never released, that she had the option to, but she didn't because she chose love at every step of the way. And we are so proud of her for doing so. But that does not mean that this other part of her goes away. She is just as much wicked as she is love. There are two sides to the coin. Neither is good and neither is bad. They just are. And it is what she chooses to do with her actions that makes her who she is. She has this doubt in her brain that if she were to set these boundaries that this shadow self is trying to have her do, that if she were to be a little sassier, if she were to, assert herself more, that that would make her unlikable. And that's simply not true. You're not meant for everybody, honey. And that's okay. Because if you're too much, then they can go find less. She's perfect as she is. And this other part of her is going to help her ascend and become more dominant and secure in herself. And she needs that. You were selfless for everyone else. You sacrificed yourself for three beautiful little kids. And you are beautiful for that. For you are equally beautiful for taking a stand for yourself now. It's you time. And that's okay. You deserve it.
Are there any low frequency energies stuck anywhere in her cellular body that you can tell her about and then remove for her?
Her gut in particular. She's doing it to herself, honestly. There is a very high percentage of like greasy food that she's eating. Not only is it not helping her um figure, because she does want to have a more slimmer figure, which that's what she wants to do. We support her. But it's also hurting her physical gut. It's giving her stomach aches at night. They're progressively getting worse, and she's sort of eating to escape this sort of suppressing feeling. She wants to go and do shadow work, and that is wonderful, but she needs to feel it herself. She needs to be able to get through these emotions and not cave into a vat of fries and chocolate cake. She needs to sit with her emotions. She needs to feel it. She needs to embrace it. Just sit with that pain, because through that pain, she's going to gain such a sense of clarity, and nothing's going to taste better than that. She's going to excel so much if she can just get through this. But this very greasy, excessive diet is hurting her stomach. She needs to go speak to the therapist, and she needs to do a lot more self-care. She needs to be getting her hair done, her nails done. She has a massage on Groupon that she should utilize now. She's had it for like 3 weeks, and we're like, hey, use it. But then she forgets, and so we try to remind her. And even her best friend reminds her, but she still forgets. Bless her heart. She's so cute.
Um, I'm sorry. So you said that it's stuck in her gut. So can you heal her gut right now? And then we can leave it up to her to continue to maintain the health of her gut. But can you heal it from where it's at right now and give her, let's say, almost like a clean slate to start from?
Yes, let's give it a shot.
Okay, could you tell us what you're doing as you do it?
I'm going to move my hands as I do it.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw both my hands down the middle of her stomach, down her gut. We're going to cut that down below the belt line and then up at the top. And we're going to peel that open like two cabinet doors. Once we're inside, we're going to draw these sort of lines as if squeezing out all of this negative energy from her intestines, moving it out, moving it out, moving it out, gathering it, sort of taking it into a ball form. Just going to concentrate it down. Okay. Now we're going to place this love energy back. I'm going to soothe it down. Hold her back down again. We're going to seal it back up as if it were magical hot glue gun. That feels much better now. There we go. Much better. Now she needs to eat something alive, like fruit, vegetables, because she will very quickly feel sick again if she does not. She needs to have something fresh, something nice, something not heavy and carby. She needs something like a nice salad with a raspberry vinaigrette or something, but not anything too heavy for right now.
Almost like she's recovering from surgery and needs to be careful eating because she just had that
Exactly.
psychic surgery.
Exactly. Exactly. And she needs to drink a lot of water after this because her headache is going to just, wow, it's gonna hurt later.
Okay. Yeah, I tell everyone they need to drink a lot of water after they do this type of session to help ground them, among other things, right?
Right, right. That's so important. She needs to work more on grounding. She needs to ground herself in the morning before she goes to sleep. That is mandatory. She needs to do it. It's going to help her so much. It's probably 10 minutes. She found a meditation. It works wonders for her. It's about 10, 11 minutes max, and it works absolute wonders for her. It makes her feel so much better. Yeah, she has had anxiety for a very long time. But since she found spirituality and she found meditation, and certain ones, that has helped her so much with her anxiety because she would just be an absolute wreck. I mean, we're talking she would not get out of bed, she would not shower, she would take care of her son, but she just did not take care of herself. She took quarantine to a whole other level. She didn't leave a room. At one point, it was so bad, and it makes our heart hurt. Like it hurts to think about this, but she was so anxious to go out into the living room space where her fiance's parents and the brother was, that she literally peed in a cup so that way she didn't have to walk out and see them in order to go to the bathroom because she was just so anxious. She would shake at the thought of just going into the living room. So being able to ground herself and take those deep breaths and having that moment of going, hey, none of this really matters. In the cosmic universe, she is this tiny speck, an important speck in relative to her surroundings and what it is that she's doing. But she is a meat suit. She is one life. And going out into the living room and going to use the bathroom isn't going to cause a cataclysmic difference in the universe that will be the end all be all. Because that's how she feels when she had to do that. She's come a long way. It was a very hard road, and things are going to get easier from here. She's afraid that, uh, well, it's not even a fear. She's just always waiting for the other shoe to drop, and baby, it's not dropping. Your suffering is done. You paid your price. And now the only thing you have to do is build yourself. So that work ethic that was ingrained in her when she lived with her aunt and her uncle, she can use that now. She can move forward. She's intelligent, she's independent, and she used to become more independent. She's got this. She's got to work for it. We're not just going to hand it to her. It's not that life.
Has she had other lives that have been much easier?
Yes. Yes,
But
this is
this
not
is
her
not one
first.
of them.
No. No, 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 no. She has wonderful moments where life is, it can give her tiny little breaks. Um, but in this life, there's a reason for her massive struggle because listen, if you have like this beautiful, pleasant life where, you're just some rich duchess up in a fancy estate, your life is going to be significantly less interesting and less character character arc inducing than, the life that she's living now. She's been through a lot. And through the torment that she has suffered through, she has gained stories, and it is her choice whether or not she tells them with a mask of laughter or one of just pure sincerity. It is her choice, it is her story, and we're on board. If she wants to make a profit from her pain, that is totally fine.
Like writing a book or something.
Right, yes. We are a big fan of the book that she's writing. We have notes and she knows. She feels it. She feels it. We'll be like, that's weird. Don't do that. And she'll be like, oh, I don't know. So it's so funny. She she connects with us the most when she is doing something creative. When she just recently finished making a dream journal. She is going to publish it through KDP, and she put so much effort into. We are so proud, like the amount of research and like dedication that she put into it. She made the cover and everything, and really we she was very connected to us during that time. We guided her through that process. We gave her several pats in the back. She felt like this sense of euphoria in her accomplishment, like this sense of love around her, and that she felt it, and she knew that we were there because we were so proud. She knocked that assignment out in a matter of days, and just so proud. If now she could just balance her life, to where she doesn't just like overwork herself. um that would be amazing. We're so stunned. We love her so much.
She fears taking medication, and this is going to go back to what you were talking about earlier about what she fears she can manifest in her life or bring about. And so she needs to be so careful with that. But she does fear taking medications because everyone's always spoken over her, oh, you're going to be just like your mother. And are you able to pull this fear of turning out like her mother and this fear of medications and instead give her download in her just like a trust in life in general?
We're gonna give her a hug. She needs one. She needs one. Listen, what you do and you put in your body is important. Okay. What we don't want you to do is abuse a substance that includes food, which you have been doing. So, we're not saying you should or should not take any sort of medication. We're saying that you should be responsible and level-headed about it, which you already have the capability to do. So, what we're going to do for now is we are going to well, we're going to I wanted to say rip out, but I think we need to be more gentle than that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make my hand become a nice translucent blue, and I'm going to go into her chest, and I'm going to pull out this sense of identity crisis. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to crumple it up like a piece of paper. Okay, and I'm in my hand, it's going to be compacted and once again turned into love. But this time it is going to be a beautiful, I wanted to say selenite, but it's not selenite. It's going to be a beautiful rose quartz, and I'm placing it right back into her chest, right here, because her mother does love her, and there is nothing to fear. You are not your mother. You don't claim the same name as your mother. You live a different life. You have made different choices. We're not your mother. You need not fear medication. And should you ever come across something that makes you uncomfortable, you can simply stop and remember that you are a personality. You are in a meat suit, as wonderful and glorious as it is. You do need to take care of it. But it is not the end all be all. It is okay to take a breath. It is okay to contemplate the decision. What's not okay to do is abuse a substance or abuse yourself. Tapping is going to be very helpful for her. Doing some tapping. It's going to help relieve a lot of anxiety, and it's going to be able to get her to that alpha theta state a lot quicker than just, breathing and attempting to meditate and setting the intention. And we really feel that the tapping is really going to help her shift some energy around, sort of cause a distraction from the tightness that she has in her chest or in her appendages. So tapping is definitely going to be beneficial for her.
She also fears that she's not protected and always being hunted, so to speak, and is going to go insane again, like her mother. What can you tell her about this? And can you bring her healing to this?
She is not being hunted. She is divinely protected. She has a whole team around her all the time. And more often than not, the things that she hears or the random movements, things like that, it's us. It's not anything else, babe. It's us. It's us. You asked us to be here and show you a sign, and we did, and then you got scared. It's us. Relax. Although there is, a few things that pop in here and there, because again, the fear does manifest these things. We would never let anything hurt her or come close to her. However, she does do damage to her own self when she essentially goes into this sort of like spiral of doubt and just fear. And so she ends up doing this damage to herself. It's almost like she's fulfilling her own prophecy. um I mean, we don't let her. We always come in, we give her, love and light, and we surround her with that, and we make sure that she's protected. And if there was ever, like a real, um or we shouldn't say real because it is all real, but if there was an entity that came in and she was feeling overwhelmed and she couldn't particularly detect it, her son does. Her son detects it and she knows it. There have been several instances where she had like a gut feeling that something was there. That something had entered the room, particularly when she lived in the Bronx. She lives in a much better area now, so it's very rare for this to happen. But particularly in the Bronx, she would get this gut feeling like something entered the room that was not originally there, changed the aura of the room. It went from something that was calm and normal to something that was um, like malevolent, and she felt it, and even her son felt it, because in midst of his gorgeous, beautiful little baby sleep, he woke up screaming. I shouldn't even say woke up. He didn't wake up. He was still asleep. He was just screaming bloody murder in his sleep because he felt the atmosphere change. She knows very well that her son is very psychic. Um, and so she really wants to prepare herself for this, and we support her in that decision. It's just going to take a lot of research, a lot of trial and error, and she does have time. It's going to be a while before her son is old enough to really process, any of this to an extent that, that she is currently, studying. But she is protected, and honestly, for an alarm, her son's a perfect alarm. Okay, he will scream, he will let her know, and then she can do the practice that we showed her with the detonating of a beautiful, essentially a love bomb, and that's going to be able to help the situation. She has done protections in that sense before, and we're really proud of her because even though she's scared, she's brave, and that is half the battle already. So we are just so proud of her facing her fears. What a boss.
Mhm. Does she have the trapped emotion of rejection anywhere in her body?
Oh, it is in several places in her body. And mostly restricts her movement. It doesn't stop it altogether. It's not in one particular place. I would say that it's sort of taken residence, almost like I want to say like in her skin. It's taken residence. It's sort of not like a rubber band that doesn't have very much elasticity. That's what I want to say. It sort of made her a lot more rigid, this rejection. So it makes her more on edge. As you saw, she'll like apologize for everything incessantly for no reason. Bless her heart. But she does need to work on that, and what we can do for her is um we can give her we're going to surround her. Actually, we're going to surround her, and we're going to cover her in our love. What we're going to do is we are going to pull out a beautiful quilt. It has got patches of memories of her most dear precious memories stitched in each square. Most loving ones, the first time she held her son, her first kiss ever, playing with her siblings when she was young, her adventures with Lexi, her constant quirky puns with her best friend Courtney, her very cringy YouTube channel with her best friend that made her happy anyway. All those squares stitched together. We're going to wrap them around her, and then we're going to squeeze in tight so that she knows that there is no rejection. Because she has never been rejected by the people that truly matter. Yeah. Hmm. You keep that quilt. There. That'll serve as a method of easing this sort of this social anxiety, this almost attack on her own self-esteem. So whenever she feels that she needs that how do I put this? Whenever she feels that she's not good enough, that she's being weird, that she is too much, or that she's causing the social atmosphere to change, she can just wrap this blanket around herself and accept her Aquarius moon and realize that she was meant to be different. She was meant to break the mold, and that people love her for that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we're all doing like a cuddle. Group hug. Hmm.
So, does she also have the trapped emotion of abandonment in her from having been kind of tossed around between families like a few times?
Yeah. Yeah, the sense of constantly being thrown away, which to be fair, she was.
Are you able to heal that and pull that and download something beautiful and amazing in its place?
See, I don't even think she needs us to do that because I think she finally has the thing that she wanted so badly, which was just to have a family of her own. And with her current fiance, current with her fiance with her fiance and her son, she has that wonderful little family structure, and her best friend, who she calls her queer platonic life partner, who's recently here, she has this wonderful family, and that's all she's ever wanted, really, is just to have this beautiful family that just loves her and that she can love, and that they can all, you know, take care of each other. That's all she's ever wanted, and she has that. And there is no more abandonment here. And I think that's all she needs to do, is realize that she is not abandoned. She is in perfect control of her situation. She has what it is that she wished for. She has a wonderful family, and we can feel her gratitude. You deserve it. You deserve it. We were never going to leave you hanging. And we're your family too. We're crying. We're all crying. This is nice. Yeah. Yeah. We love you. And we're her family too. And we're not going to leave her side. We're not going to leave her side.
She has a fear that someone or something is out there to punish her. Are you able to heal that for her and show her the truth?
This is just her fight or flight response. All right, we're going to go in. Right. In front of her face, over by her third eye, like an inch above her eyebrow. I shouldn't say an inch above, like just right above her eyebrows, in between. We are going to take this tiny itty bitty little key and we're going to insert it into her head, turn it, and pop it open. We're shrinking down and we're crawling in. Inside. Wow, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. We are pulling that sense of fear right out. You are not hunted. You are protected. There's a lot here. We are going through categories. She really needs to organize this place. All right, we have got boxes upon boxes here, essentially of like these files, very poorly categorized. Okay, out to get her. Okay, there's a lot here, and it's very deeply rooted in her aunt. Yes, and Aunt V. Yes, Aunt V has a lot to do with this. Hmm. Reason being that every time she did something good, or she did her best. She tried her darndest to be perfect, making sure everything was in place. She tried so hard to earn her love. It almost felt like she scoured. This woman scoured everything, every part of her, in order to find something that she could pick at. She was constantly attacking her. Out of all the abuses she's taken, this one was the least physical. It was all mental. was all emotional abuse that ended up manifesting into all these nasty things. So we're going in here and we're taking a lighter that is just bright red, and we are burning this. We are passionately burning these feelings of attack, because you know what? If she's feeling like she's being attacked, she needs to know that we are right here on the defense for her. She has nothing to feel attacked over anymore, because this woman has paid her price. She is in a better place. She no longer has to look at this woman if she doesn't feel like it. And she can excel now. She can excel now, knowing that at every twist and turn, she chose love. Her Aunt V did not choose that. And she knows that that's why she's lamenting her decisions now. She's regretting everything. And she knows it. And it's okay. She feels wicked. She feels wicked for having this sensation of good, good. I'm glad you got what came to you. And no, we feel it too. We feel it too. I mean, after watching someone just constantly be just pushed down over and over and over again and just climbing back up, just we're so proud. We are so proud, and we are so just we just love her so much. We are so sorry that she had to go through so much. But it has made her such a wonderful woman, and so resilient, so bright, so clever, so hilarious. Sometimes painfully hilarious, but hilarious all the same.
Mhm. So it's all done burning up.
Yeah, it's all gone.
And what are you going to put in its place?
Let's see. Instead, what we're going to do is we are going to put in memories, positive memories of her and this person. Because as much as you're allowed to feel that they are deserving, we don't want her to stay with a petty energy. We want her to continue with one of love and light and happiness. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to make some copies of some of these memories to put an emphasis on what she gained from these experiences. So we're going to take a memory of her and Veronica singing Material Girls at karaoke, one of her favorite memories with her on. We're going to make a copy of that. We're going to make a copy of her aunts taking her to Disney World. We're going to make a few of those copies, and we're going to put that in there. We are going to make a couple of copies of the rare times that she congratulated her on achieving certain feats, like winning second place in a playwriting contest. Make some copies of that, and we're going to put them back. We're putting them back in the boxes, and we're putting them back in their original shelving. So that way we replace something that did not create happiness into something that does. And now she can look back at this person and she can acknowledge what they were and what they did. But they can also see more than just the negative parts, because any person, no matter how evil, does have their good qualities, and it's very important to see that no human is perfect. Even the most saint-like human being is not a saint. It's just not how we were built. We are perfectly irrational beings trying to be logical. It's hilarious.
Hmm. Is
Going to the
mental
gym would
illness?
really help. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Going to the gym would really help. What do you mean?
Yes, because it's going to get a lot of energy flowing through her. For example, if she spends too long in one place, like especially with a diet and exercise, what ends up happening is she'll eat a very greasy, heavy meal, and then she'll do it over and over, and then she won't go to the gym, which creates a sort of stagnant block within her body, not just, physically, but energetically. So what ends up happening is she gets stuck. She gets stuck in one, like she gets this energy, this negative energy buildup in one place, and then she gets this sort of anxious static running through her, but sort of stopping at this one place. And with good exercise, some meditation, and a good diet, she's going to be able to get so much out of this. Like there's going to be so much more energy just flowing, coursing through her, like a river with no real obstacles. It's sort of like a river trying to go uphill. It's going to be very difficult to move against gravity. So, she can allow things to move a lot more smoothly, like a well-oiled machine, if she's able to both exercise and have a good diet. She doesn't need to do anything crazy, She doesn't need to go on some massively crazy diet, She just needs to eat well, eat more vegetables, please. Please. Almonds are not vegetables. She needs to eat vegetables. So funny. Corn neither. Corn's a starch. She's arguing.
And does she need to drink more water too?
Absolutely. Yes, she needs to drink more water. She's so fixated on this like no fluoride thing, which granted too much fluoride is going to be bad for you, but honestly, any water is going to be better than no water right now because no water and you die. She's going to get these massive, massive headaches and she knows about them. She's had them. She's done some tarot reading days where she'll go over to her friend's house and she'll do some tarot reading, and within 10 minutes she'll get some really accurate readings, and then she will be shot for the rest of the evening. Like she cannot do anything because her head hurts so bad. It does not matter if she takes Advil or Tylenol. She essentially shoots herself in the foot by not drinking water. It's something so important, and something that I don't think most people realize is that hydration starts the day prior. So she can't just go into a scenario going, oh, I'm going to do all these spiritual things and just drink a bottle of water before. No, ma'am, you're going to have to be hydrated long before you get there. Because at that point you're trying to recuperate. You're trying to make sure you're ready, have the preparation, because then she's going to get this massive headache and essentially fry herself. That's one way to definitely make yourself, get crazy and misfire, is by not taking care of yourself. Sort of like you're not taking care of a car. You're trying to get from one place to another, and you're like, oh, you know what? It's squeaky here. Now the back tire's making a weird noise. Like one of the tires has, a hole in it, but I patched it up with like this little thing. I don't need to buy a new tire. And then you go years and years and years without doing an oil change. You let old gas sit in there. Um, and then you don't change, like you don't put water in the car, it's overheating. Eventually at some point that car is going to go kaputs, versus if you had just taken care of it, it could have lasted you a very long time. So that's something she needs to be very careful with, especially when dealing with spiritual matters, witchcraft, things of that nature. And that's something that I just recommend to everybody in general, is you need to take care of your physical form. Yes, it's a meat suit, but the meat suit is how you're experiencing this life. So you're going to need to take care of it.
And Is mental illness like a generational pattern or curse with her family, with her ancestors?
I would definitely say so. I would definitely say so. There's a
Are
lot
they-
that goes into this, and it's sort of like a perpetually, um, it's such a repeated pattern that some of which she has broken already. She did break a lot um, of generational curses as it stands now. Um, this sort of hate upon the younger generation, and this sort of this jealousy energy that her family really just, I mean, they clung on to that energy with a vice-like grip, and she did not participate. She had enough courage to walk away, to disobey her elders, um, and essentially say, "No, I'm not doing it." The first step to breaking her generational curses was saying, "I'm not going to participate in cursing." Because that was something that her family just really did. If you crossed someone, you um, ended up becoming the enemy of all. And that's not something that she wanted to participate in. Um, she refused to be manipulated any further. She was not going to live her life existing to please them. So she left, and that was such a wise decision. One of the things that her father did say to her that did actually mean something to her, that was, really resonated with her, was, I think that was the smartest, bravest decision you could have ever made in your life. And we back that up. We really do back that up. That was so terrifying. She shook as she did it, but you know what? She left that note, and she left it with a bang. We are just right. We're so proud. So proud. She did excellent. Excellent.
So, are you able to offer healing to her generations, to her ancestors for that pattern of mental illness? Offer it to any of her generations that would like it. And if there's any healing that would benefit her, to give it to her and her son also.
Oh, her son will not have to. Her son will not inherit any of that. She broke it. Her son will not
Nice.
inherit any of that. Any of that. As for the generations that continue to live on, um, there's only so much that we can do for them because they still so heavily cling on to this awful, just oh, the imagery of it is just like a miasma that is just entirely just covering their nooks and crannies. It's so embedded within them that, I mean, even if they went to therapy and did shadow work, they could definitely recognize it, but I mean, just to see the grand amount of effort that it would take to remove that at the stages they are in their life. It's entirely their prerogative what they choose to do with that energy. But it's like it's like a hot pink, it's like a hot pink Barbie just with like this nasty miasma just sort of like surrounding her, clamping her, almost like binding her, and that's sort of what it's doing. It's like a toxic positivity almost, a willful ignorance that they live by, hiding their family pedophiles and abuse, and justifying these things and pretending, as though it had never happened. We're not saying that Aunt V can't ever, get through um, her own generational curses. It's just because because Nita made the decision to walk away, she broke it for herself, but because she's no longer involved with that family, there's not really much else that she can do for them, but she's already done so much for her son. She's even at this point, we recommend that she just cut off her father. He's not serving her highest good anymore. And she felt it. She felt it in her soul. We sent that to her. Um, and her son, she was so worried about her son having grandparents. And listen, he's going to be so much better without that kind of influence, that kind of negativity. He's going to be a wonderful, beautiful, bouncing baby boy, and he's not going to know, anything but love, um, from his mom and his dad and the grandparents that he is exposed to, who are absolutely in love with him. Just they're probably having a day right now. They are having a day.
So, what about her mom? Is her mom someone that she should continue to have in her life? And if so, what does that look like? I'm assuming there should be some boundaries or something there, but what would that look like if she should keep her mom in her life or not?
Yes. We don't see anything wrong with keeping her mom in her life. We think that it's very good to have her mom in her life. It's also very humbling because with a lot of times when people get to a certain point in their life, they begin to get sort of cocky and conceited and things like that. And I feel that her mom really humbles her, um, in a lot of ways, by essentially looking at what it is that, like who it was that she came from, and seeing that her mom has also made improvements, through her life, because although she's still not fully um she's still not fully capable of doing all the things that Nita can do on her daily on day-to-day basis, not spiritually speaking, but just like in physicality, mentally. um Even though she's still not there, she's still, trying, she's still, moving forward in some capacity. But even in the parts where her mother stutters and is stagnant, she's able to look back at her mother and go, okay, um I can help, I can improve myself. Here are things that, I should look out for. It's almost like learn what to do and what not to do. Her mom does have quite a few words of advice for her, in regards to spirituality from when she was involved in it, that we do agree with, and some that are opinionated, which is fine, because that's what life is. It's all opinions. That's what TikTok is. It's opinions. Um, and you really just take what resonates with you. And so we definitely do recommend that she keep her mom in her life. We do feel that there is a semblance of like this mothering energy coming from her mom, which is something that she so desperately needs. And it's almost like she's so prideful that she doesn't want to accept it, but like secretly she loves it because she's like, "Yay, mommy's little girl." And it's fine to accept that. Enjoy it. It's okay. That's her inner child coming out, wanting that love. And it's okay. She's safe now. She's an adult. She doesn't need it. So it's okay to have it, to appreciate that, to have those moments that she didn't get with her mom because she just collapsed under pressure. It's okay.
Is sexual abuse and physical abuse a generational pattern or curse? And if so, are you able to break that in her family? I mean, I understand that she's broken that, but is there anything you can do to help her ancestors, whether they even be still alive or the ones that have passed on that died with that generational pattern? And is there any healing that any of them would like to receive right now? Or would that be just kind of a waste of time, so to speak?
I don't think there's anything in particular that I can do for them or that she would be willing or able to do. at this time.
Okay.
There's a lot more research that needs to go into that before she does any sort of ancestral healing or ancestor work, which if she chooses to go into that, oof, like she's going to have a challenge on her hands because she comes from a very long line of petty people. And
Uh,
yeah, it's going to be a lot if she chooses to do that. If she chooses that, then we support her, but there's a lot of healing that she really needs to focus on for herself, and she has broken that line for her son. She's very protective of her son, and so that has been broken. um, she's able to utilize her life experiences and essentially turn it around so that her son will never have to see any of the tragedies or abuses that she had to live through.
okay. And what can she do to work on her own to heal her inner child and her trauma? I mean, anything other than you've already mentioned. Anything else?
Let's see. When a triggering situation comes up, write it down. Write it down immediately. She has a few memory issues. She needs to write it down immediately. Because if something makes her uncomfortable, she needs to be able to face and accept that trigger and move forward from it. So write down your triggers. That's going to help her get through shadow work in particular, because like we said, there's so many layers that she needs to go through. So when she has that feeling, when she suddenly just feels so, you know, shaky, or she doesn't feel right, she needs to just ask herself, okay, why am I feeling this way? And immediately go into a meditation and start writing it down. What the first thing that pops into her head, write it down. That's going to help her make just strides if she utilizes that method.
Okay. What was the purpose of her choosing such a hard life this time?
In this life, her personality is an all or nothing. And that's very reflective in her, in why she chose this life. There was a lot that needed to be learned, but the most important lesson of this life is patience. She learned resilience so epically, so it takes my breath away. It was amazing and heart wrenching to watch, but she needed to learn patience. She needed to learn how to rise from ashes, and rise from ashes she did, because there were so many times, and then she would use this phrase where essentially she would spiritually spiritually like annihilate herself and then reemerge as something altogether new. And she successfully did that. She never fully destroyed a past version of herself, but she ended up smelting it down and adding new metals to it to make it become stronger, in the same way that human bones become stronger after they heal. And she broke so many bones to become so strong, and she's made so many strides in this lifetime, and she's just epic.
Um, so did she choose then to incarnate with a grandfather that would molest her and her sister?
She chose her parents. She chose her mom. She chose her dad. Um, that situation was everything sort of goes, there were different outcomes that could have happened. Um, Unfortunately, her parents chose their specific paths and impacted her. She was still so very young at the time, that she didn't have much influence, much direction that she could influence at that time. That her parents, their direct decisions, she knew of her parents, what kind of decisions they could make, the general direction. But the fact that that particular situation happened to her, it was likely to happen to her, but it was not the only option. She full on chose hard mode. She chose to just play on hard mode, and sort of like a she has this mentality of like if she's trying to go up a hill, she'll go really, really, really fast, like almost bust her heart open just to get to the top so that she could just stop at that point, just to get there, and then she could breathe. And that's sort of the pacing that she's had in this life. Like she really just wanted to nail that heartbreak, that torment, those lessons. She really just wanted to plow through them and then reach, this landing where she can look back and go, wow, I really overcame all that. And she did. She did do that, and she did not get an opportunity because she did it so quickly, because she sort of never really looked back or went to therapy or, um did anything like that until, the past couple of years, that it ended up having a lot of damage. And so now she's sort of recuperating, and now that she's at this landing, she's able to do the triage. She's able to look back on her past and begin that process of healing. She just sort of existed to get through to the next level, to the next thing, to the next thing, and now she's here, she's calm, and she's sort of like, what do I do now? Nothing bad is happening. What is going on? I don't understand. When is the other shoe gonna drop? And it's not. The other shoe is her figuring out and processing these feelings, because a lot of things are a lot deeper. Um, what she thinks about, how she feels about certain things, um, are really a different way, now that she's older and she can process these things better.
Okay. She wants to know what you can do to heal her acne, or what can heal her acne, or is it as a result of her diet or something else?
This is a direct result of a few things. The first one is how she feels about herself. I think she's awesome. Her spirit guides think she's awesome. I mean, we look at everything that she's accomplished and we're like, wow, heroine of the year. But she looks at everything that she's gone through and she sees herself as a punching bag, as a person who, you know, isn't worthy of love unless she, provides a use of some sort. She looks in the mirror and she doesn't see what we see. She doesn't see what her fiance sees, which is like this beautiful, gorgeous, full-figured woman, um, who, kicked ass and took names. She sees herself as this sort of, you know, frumpy mom character, when that is not who she is at all. And so really she needs to be practicing a lot of self-love, because this is a lot of just manifestation of just these negative feelings that don't even belong to her. These are comments made to her by her Aunt V, by her mom, by, different um relationships that she'd had in the past. Like this is her own harsh criticism upon herself that is causing such horrible acne. Um Along with, the need for more water and a better diet. But the thing that's mainly causing this is is this sense of, like self-hatred, and she needs to stop that, and again switch her attitude to something more positive and more loving. She needs to do more affirmations for self-love and less affirmations for psychic ability. Okay, we get that you want it, we get it, we hear you, you say it all the time. She needs to focus on self-care, because with self-care she's going to be able to heal, do the shadow work, get her acne out, drop her weight. And then with that, when she's doing all of that, she's going to be able to reemerge, and she's going to have everything that she wanted and more. She's going to have those psychic abilities. She's going to have everything. But she's got to take this step by step, and she doesn't want to do the mundane work. And I'm sorry, but you got to do it.
So should her main focus right now be not only self-care and self-love, but self-healing?
Yes. Yes. She used to do self-healing. She does the tarot cards all the time. And we give her the same cards all the time. And she's like, oh, I'm just going to reshuffle. No, no, we meant shadow work. We meant self-healing. That's what you need to do. She's so silly. But yes, it is all about self-healing right now. She has band-aids over bullet holes, and she needs to evaluate just to treat those wounds.
With your help, right?
Yes, absolutely. We are here every step of the way. We've already done some great work today. She's going to feel a lot better after this.
But I tell people that a session like this is not your spiritual journey. This just doing a session, this is kind of like going to a personal trainer for a
Right.
day and getting a
Right.
good workout. But she
Right.
has a lot of work left to do in order to get that hot spiritual
Exactly.
body. Is that right? She has to keep
Yep,
going
yep.
on the
She's got a
spiritual
lot
journey.
of, yes, yes, exactly, exactly, Tracy. She has got a lot of work to do to get that hot spiritual body. Yes. Absolutely, 150%. You feel great after working out with your personal trainer. You're like, yeah, I worked out. It's great. You feel like the pump. You get home, you take that shower. You're like, yeah, you drink a protein shake. Yeah, you're doing great. But then, like when you don't go the next day or the day after that, you forget that you had the personal trainer in the first place. Any work you did with the personal trainer was undone when you went to a buffet. And and then pattern ensues. So that's why it's very important. I just feel like this is going to be beneficial to essentially do like that triage to see how it feels to have been able to do some work, and inspire her to continue doing it, because her personality is, oh, this gets me a result. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. So I'm so very happy that she was able to do this.
I'm so happy she is too, because she was really nervous if she would be able to even go do this session and connect with you. So this is really awesome because she's getting some great insight. Is she okay to continue for a little bit longer?
Yeah, she needs to pee.
Uh, And I have many, many people who do that. And so let me give her this suggestion now, and if you can help me with this,
Mhm.
to tell her that she'll be able to stay in this completely relaxed state while she goes, and everything will be fine. And then we'll come back as soon as she's done. I'm not going anywhere. And then she'll be able to go right back to this relaxed state, and we'll pick up right where she left off as if nothing had happened, no interruption. Can we do that?
All right, we can definitely try.
Okay, let's do that. So just going back to that completely relaxed state and sitting Nita down in a chair in the corner of the room and just reconnecting, re-emerging again with the higher self, with the authentic self, with the guides, who are also a big part of this session, it seems. Reconnecting, if you want to just imagine cables being plugged back into your brain or into your body, almost like you're hooked up on machines, just reconnecting with all of them now. Tell me when it feels like they're completely connected with you again. and asking to speak with Nita's higher self once again. Do we have permission to continue questioning Nita's higher self and have it come forward?
Yes, we're back now.
Nita feels the need to make a career within the spiritual and witchcraft community and wants to know what route within the field should be taken in order for her to have financial success, stability, and for her highest good.
She can absolutely go into the spiritual community. She can absolutely do that. And she can be very successful in doing it. Um, she has a very out there personality. She's very outgoing in that particular sense. Um, she likes to make people laugh. She is a content creator, just by nature. And she can do that. However, it is going to take work and dedication. It's going to take her time to build up to that. Um, with manifestation techniques, and um, the building of her abilities with more meditation. Like I said, this is a process that's going to take her particular work, which is why we keep telling her not to look at TikTok, for advice for everything, because some people go, oh, you do this, you do this technique and you just tell your spirit guides to do it for you and they will. Well, guess what? We're not doing it for you. That's not how it's going to work for you. It's not what you chose. Um, she can do whatever it is, but it's going to take her time and a lot of, patience and dedication. So she can do it. She has to research correctly. We know her integrity. She doesn't want to put out anything out there that she does not believe will help the to help um, raise the collective conscience. Um,
Mhm.
so we believe in her. She can absolutely do it. She's helping her best friend essentially build her platform as well. She does have a place in that world if she wants it. She also can continue um, with her novel writing and everything, which we adore the plots. And she can continue with that. It's just going to take a lot of determination, a lot of work, a lot of research. And she really has to keep with it. She can't, put it down and then never pick it back up. She's got to keep the snowball rolling and find that balance. And that's why we've been sending her like 222 like all the time. We're like, balance, find balance. You need that. And she's been trying to figure it out. She's been like teetering, but she'll find her pacing. She'll get there. She'll get there soon.
So the 222 is giving her the message that she needs balance.
That's what we mean when we send it to her. Yes, is balance is the 222. It's the
Okay.
duality of life, because she's been going into these extremes of extremely doing nothing and extremely doing everything, and she needs to find a better pacing, of, hey, let's do things in smaller increments. And that's something that her best friend Courtney is she's excellent. She is so excellent at doing this, where she will work for 15 minutes and then she will break for 15 minutes or work on something else for 15 minutes. But that way it feels like, you're not focusing so hard on something that her brain that, like that your brain gets bored and then you stop doing it altogether. So it's excellent. It's an excellent way for her to work in increments if something is absolutely, just ugh, like just awfully boring. She's able to work in increments and get through it.
Okay. I keep seeing 222 also, so I was particularly interested in that question, and I have no sense of balance, so thank you. Is continuing college for graphic design not suited for her anymore, or what do you have to say about that?
Okay, so she has expressed interest in essentially starting her own company, creating different products for spiritual awakening, different products that she thinks would help her and help the collective conscience altogether. So her idea was to, essentially, I'm going to make my own business, which is wonderful. If she is deciding that she does not want to work for another company, then she does not need to do that. She can, in fact, stop her schooling, okay, her official schooling, and she can do something that's a lot more cost effective if she's simply working for herself, because she's going to hire herself essentially into her own company. She already has a couple of products ready to go, and all she's got to do is set up her stuff. So if that's the direction that she wants to go in, absolutely. We do recommend, though, if she wants to have that backup plan, because she's got to dedicate, again, dedication, patience, motivation, okay? Regardless of what she chooses. Um, of course, the academic schooling is going to put her more in debt. If we want to cut that out and work for yourself, that's great. However, if you want a plan B and essentially have a more guaranteed position, then she could continue with that. However, we do realize that she gets incredibly frustrated when something is just when they give you those classes that have absolutely nothing to do with what it is that you're trying to do. We understand, we understand the frustration. We like watch her and we're like, oh, we know you don't want to do this. It's so funny. We will tell her, hey, like we will remind her all day, like, hey, something important, something important, something important. Like it's Thursday, it's Thursday, it's Thursday. And it's not until it's always at the same time at exactly 6 on a Thursday that she remembers, oh snap, I have to do my discussions today. And it's because we remind her. So she constantly knows we're here with her because we remind her um, of her homework. Great. It's like half our job. So if she does not want to do that anymore, we completely support her. However, if she does walk away, that's it. She can't return to this. This opportunity will not appear again. She will not have this
What
opportunity again. To
opportunity?
continue graphic design school to get that official bachelor's. That opportunity will not come again. She will not regain financial aid again. That will be over for her. That door will close if she walks away. So that's why we're asking that she really think this through, take a couple of classes that she feels really pertains to her, to this particular field, to see if it's really helping her. And if it does not, we just want her to take one more. And if it does not, if she feels it doesn't, then she can walk away and feel, perfectly secure in her decision that that is no longer, the direction that, she needs to go in. However, if she walks away, that's it. There's no going back to academia, like actual college for her. Like there will be other options, other routes for her, but college will no longer be one of them if she walks away. So she needs to make that decision wisely, because she's already a couple of thousand in debt for online school. So
Okay.
she'll just be very smart. We're confident she'll make the right decision no matter what. We're here.
Okay. What else can she do to bring in more money for her family?
A different thing that she can do right now, it would be very overwhelming for her. Her son is a riot. We love him, so cute. Um, but right now, we would honestly recommend that she focus on her son. It's going to save them a lot more money for her to be home with her son than for her to go out into the workforce. What she can do, however, is dedicate more time to creating deliverables, products, and advertising herself, because she's already manifested opportunities to come to her. Um, for work, and she really needs to not put herself down and say, oh yeah, no, maybe I can do it. No, yes you can. Yes, you absolutely 150% can. You can make a quality product already. A lot of these classes are really just going to serve as basic refreshers for her. So um she really needs to say yes to these opportunities. She needs to be positive about these opportunities. She needs to think positively. She needs to have a better work life balance. We understand it's difficult with a child, but she can do this. She can find that balance, and she needs to communicate better. She has the family, she has the work ethic. We know she has that resilience, and now she just needs to have the patience and the drive to really nail it home. She's got this. She just has to do it now. It's all execution now. To make like publish publish the journal is what we're trying to say, because she's had it done for about a week now, and she has yet to publish it because she has yet to call her uncle lazy. She used to just call him.
Okay.
Granted, she did want to wait until after this because she just wanted to see what we had to say, because she has a lot of self-doubt that she needs to stop.
So, can her hypothyroidism be removed? Are you able to heal that and help improve her well-being and help her shed the extra weight?
um all right, so the situation with the hypothyroidism, there is, as she peels off these layers of the onion, she's going to come across different scenarios. Her trauma is so deeply built that when she is able to pull those things back, hypothyroidism will go away. It's actually happened prior in her life where she had hypothyroidism. She ended up going back several years later, when she was in a better position in her life. And the doctors, they did the blood test and everything like that. They were like, no, you don't have it. And they were like, are you sure that's not something that just goes away? So she ended up coming back in a couple of weeks to a couple of months later. And they said the same thing, like, no, you don't have hypothyroidism. All your blood levels, they look fine. However, then she entered a different situation that ended up blocking her throat chakra, pushing that forward, um, and making that sort of situation reemerge. So it is possible for her to do this, but there's a lot of layers that she's got to get into now, because she spent a lot of time plowing through it. Now she's got to reflect. Now she's got to
Are
look
you,
back.
as her higher self, able to give her, like, let's just say, a boost in helping to start that healing process?
Yes. All right. Here we go. She has actually often been doing this. Like she's been doing like this sort of like choking motion and sort of like bending down like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my hand, and I'm just going to very lightly press it against her neck. I'm going to essentially flush it. I'm going to push this energy forward, or rather downward. I'm going to pass it down through the heart. I'm going to flush it down. Okay. We're envisioning that silver river that you gave us earlier, and we're sort of just pushing it over our head, entirely covering ourselves with silver. She needs to understand that she can always speak her mind no matter what. Okay. She needs to communicate. Something that's going to help her with this as well is her speaking to her fiance, who she recently has been feeling as though she has to tiptoe around him, almost like baby him in a sense, where she has to keep repeating herself because she doesn't feel heard. She needs to have a more stern conversation to where they could communicate more effectively, and that's going to help ease a lot as well, because he's one of the main people that she's around now that one of the only people that she's around, that would have, any sort of influence that would make her feel this way or re-trigger a past, you know, unsolved um, trauma, and sort of building upon that, sort of like stitching into it, and making his own dilemma here. So, if she's able to speak her mind and not feel as though she needs to be on edge about it, that's going to help her severely with this blockage that's going on here, because it's thick. It's thick, like
Mm.
it's really hard to like swallow. Yeah, it's like really like right here. It's very hard to swallow. So there's a lot there. There's a lot there for her. But it's going to get a lot better. Everything in combination, it's a series of small things that add up into a large collective, that if you do all these things in increments, that's why we're pushing this increment thing. If you do all these things in increments, she's going to get there faster, versus just focusing on one thing hardcore. She can focus really hardcore on psychic ability and not get very far, versus if she focuses on doing a better diet, doing a little more exercise, doing a little more meditation, going outside just, for a little bit, sitting in her little plot of like her little garden right next to her mulberry tree right outside, like just for 5 minutes, doing these things just a little bit every single day is going to get her much closer to all of her goals than just like pushing for one thing and then burning herself out entirely for 3 days. So that's going to help a lot, even with her hypothyroidism. She's going to be able to get there. Just again, it's patience. We're running a marathon, not a sprint. She needs to understand that.
It's going to the gym. You don't go and kill yourself on the treadmill one time and never want to go back.
Exactly, exactly. And she knows this one particular thing is, you can't push yourself to the absolute max on your first day at the gym, because then what happens? You get super sore, you pull muscles, and now you're not going to go back for at least another month. You have to gear yourself up again to go back. So, you essentially gave yourself a delay. You took one step forward, three steps back.
So she is currently feeling a disconnect from her fiance. Can you explain the reason behind this and how is she supposed to improve their relationship?
She feels this sense of overwhelm, um, between uh, between her child, and okay, so between her child, the work that she is attempting to create, having a sense of social life, overcoming a lot of these anxieties, having this huge stress on developing these psychic abilities. Um, all of this is really compounding upon her, and it's sort of like she's focusing on all these things at one time, when really what we want her to do is focus on different things, like in increments. So all this stress is essentially making it to where she no longer wants to, have that sense of intimacy with him. It is not that she doesn't love him. Their relationship lacks a more romantic aspect because they need a break together. Typically, when they step away from their son, and essentially have the grandparents babysit, which is a wonderful blessing that not all people have. Um, but the fact that when they step away, and essentially have that time where they can, breathe, and their son's a handful, boy. um they end up going into a social setting where they are spending time with other people, and they've reached a sort of, a comfort zone with each other, where, like they trust each other not to do something like cheat, or, do something ridiculous. They're very comfortable, like with their boundaries and things. They're pretty open and honest. But they reached a point where it's almost like they don't prioritize the romance, they don't prioritize the sensual moments. um and they need to have that one-on-one time together. Like, it's great to have a group date, but what's really making them struggle is the fact that they need to spend time together. They need to go on a date together, just them. No son, no, friends or family, just them. And they need to make that a regular, a regular activity for them, weekly, bi-weekly, if they must, but they need to be spending time one-on-one before they start spending time with, other people. Like, if they're spending more time with other people than they are with each other, there's a problem. So that needs to change. We're talking quality one-on-one time. Not, oh, I'm gonna watch a TV show with you as our son screams in our ear. Quality one-on-one time is very important for them.
And why has she never resonated with her name? She wants to know if she's a walk-in soul.
There is a memory that I have here, and it seems like a lot of things um sort of clash all together. There was this point in time where she ended up walking um into the bathroom one day. She just felt odd. It might have been the first time she disconnected. But she ended up coming back from the bathroom and sort of having this realization of, oh, I'm not me. And this memory was placed into her brain, actually, of an alien placing um their soul within like a human fetus. And so I do believe that this is a walk-in. I myself I'm even unsure. But it was either a massive disconnect when she was incredibly young. I'm talking probably 6 or 7, um, where she ended up looking in the mirror and she realized, oh, this is my body. And it felt so odd, where essentially you have that moment where you're like, oh, this is supposed to be my mom, and this is supposed to be them, and it wasn't any particular emotion associated. It was more like you were observing the situation, like you just got dropped into a story. And ever since then, we've had moments of disconnect that were similar, but none that were like that particular moment. I remember I remember her, she went up to her mom and she told her so, and her mom, in her usual manner, was like, "Oh, honey, no, you're still my same sweet little girl," like she didn't think anything of it, and so she's over here like, "I'm an alien now," because she got that visual.
So
But
you're not sure if she was a walk-in,
it
or
definitely
was she the soul that was born in that body? Is it the same soul born in that body, or was it a different soul born into this body?
Ugh, I feel like there's a lot of self-doubt that's climbing to the surface, so I'm unable to fully answer.
Uh,
Um, but it definitely feels as though she either had a massive disconnect, like she disassociated, or that she became a walk-in in that at that time.
okay. Not that it's really that important, right?
No, no, it's not that important at all.
Okay. Are there any deities that are present in her life, like Jesus or any other ascended masters that are just kind of regular, I guess I'll say, players or characters that interact with her or influence in her life?
Yes, actually in her dreams, she had the dream of essentially she okay, so she had this dream where
And it was so lovely to present it to her because she had like this feeling she didn't know what it was, but we were like, oh, we were so excited to tell her. So in her dream, she was asking us um, if um, if a particular goddess was present, and we said no, but her sister Hecate is, and she had no idea who that was. And then, like she thought that was just like a made up name, like her brain just must have made up a name, and then she looked it up, and then she found out that it was not made up. And it was one of the most glorious moments to just sort of like connect. It reminds me of the painting, like that famous painting where like God and man are, like touching, like their fingers are touching. That's the sort of feeling we got. We're like, yes, and she was present for a little bit, especially when she showed a lot of uh like an affinity towards magic, a desire to do it rather. And Jesus is a presence always with her. She does feel that love. And so she does, still pray over her food or pray over her son, and she does, call upon him. That is, the deity, the character that she feels the closest to, that she was raised with, the most familiar, which is love and sacrifice, and that's sort of how she lived her life. So that's something that she feels really super connected to. um and so it's just going to be a really great journey for her, that we're so excited. We're so excited for her, and everything that she's got going on.
So like I told her, I call on Jesus a lot when I'm doing my healing, and when I have peeled many layers of the
Right,
onion in the
right.
past and called Jesus in to embrace me and the inner child piece that I'm healing at that moment. Is that something that would be good for her, I guess, since she seems to be close to Jesus, have an affinity for him?
Yes, yes, she'd absolutely love. She has felt his, his warm embrace before, and this, it's almost like cathartic euphoria that she feels, and she knows it when it's very, it's something that's very familiar to her. It brings tears to her eyes, and it honestly makes me want to cry too. It's such a beautiful thing.
Are you able to align her vibration to one of victory, self empowerment, love, peace, and joy? Can we give that to
Absolutely.
her?
Yeah, absolutely. We can 100% do that for her. All right, let's go. We are charging her entire body. We are vibrating it. We're all putting our hands on her. Cannot keep our hands to ourselves. We're giving her all of our love. We are letting her know that we are here every step of the way, and that she is divinely guided and divinely protected and divinely loved. That it is okay to feel joy. We are giving her the green light. There you go. Deep breath. Yeah. It's like there's a heavy load that's been lifted off. Much lighter, a much better vibration. And she's definitely going to have a lot of joy throughout the rest of her evening today.
Mhm. And are there any, oh, if she takes all this information that she's learned in this session and keeps going to the spiritual gym, and having done this session, I'm sorry, erase all that. Let me start over. Here's my question. If she takes all of the information and incorporates it, how is her life going to be different now having had this session compared to what it would have been like had she not done this session?
She has direct instructions now as to what it is that she needs to do. So her life from this point forward is going to have such a she asked for discernment and we gave it to her. So she is going to be able to go ahead, put her working hat on, and she's going to be able to do exactly what it is that she needs to do in order to achieve her highest level of success and fully align herself to her highest, purpose. And we are so excited for her. So now that she has this confirmation from us, she's going to be able to move confidently in making her decisions, knowing that she does not need to doubt her intuition. She is right. And she has everything, she has the tools that she needs already to build her skill set in whatever it is that she desires. All she has to do now is execute it. So now that she has this, she's had this opportunity, she can go forth and prosper.
That was wonderful. Do you have any last messages that you want to give her?
That we love her so much and that the psychic gifts are coming. We hear you, okay? It's coming. We just need you to be patient. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's not going to happen, bim bam zam, it's getting there. You just need to give us a minute, okay? A hot minute. And once you do your due diligence, it's going to begin to present itself. She wants to see Aura so badly. We give her little glimpses here and there, just because we're like, hey, don't stop believing. All right, this is a thing, but it's not important. Okay, it's not important to see auras right now. It's important for her to reach balance, because once she is balanced, all of this is just gonna fall on her lap. Once she reaches that level of routine, that level of calmness and collectedness and love and joy, that balance, everything's just gonna right into place. Everything's gonna fall right into place, and she's going to be able to achieve everything and anything that she desires. So do not give up. You are right. Trust your intuition. You are protected, and you do not have to fear a single thing in this universe, because you are divinely guided, divinely gifted, and divinely protected. And most of all, divinely loved by all of us. Go, girl. That's it.
Sorry, I'm just checking something. I'm just correcting something here. Give me 1 second. Um, okay. And are we good to end this session, or do you have anything else that you would like to add?
I can't seem to think of anything else, so I think we're good.
Okay, wonderful. All over.
Ooh, it's dark now.
Right? I know it is. Okay, first impressions. Tell me what you're thinking.
All right, let me adjust this. Okay. Um, First impressions was that it was it was easy for me to visualize because I'm a very visual person. So going in, when you asked, about the bird, and where I was very easily able to like visualize. I think I was very I don't want to say anxious. I was like very nervous. I was like giddy. I was like, oh, it's gonna happen. So sad. And I was like, okay, go, relax. I'm feeling like a lot of like burps. So I feel like they're still like working on me. I feel like they're like, okay,
Yeah.
squeeze out that energy, that stagnant energy. Like, let's move it
Yeah.
out. Let's move it out.
And that'll happen too, like when people get Reiki worked on them and stuff too. They're like, why am I burping so much? Or, why am I twitching? Or, there's, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I felt a lot of like as if someone was like standing right here, like leaning over, like watching, touching me. Like it felt like someone was like touching me. Because I locked, I shouldn't say I locked, but my cat for the remainder of the hypnosis after she had interrupted the first time, I was like, okay, you need to go over there. So I knew it wasn't her, and my other cat is very timid. He wouldn't have come up here or anything. And so I just felt like these sensations on my body were like essentially like the right half of my body would begin to like tingle like almost like a shiver, but like it wasn't even a shiver, it was like a
Mm.
wave of sensation, of like a tingling sensation that like just ran through the right half of my body, then the left, then my full body. And sort of I just sort of let whatever was, speaking, just go. And so I was like, okay, I'll be here if you need me. The way I had envisioned it was I let my higher self, like she looked exactly like me. She was just like, sit down. I envisioned my like theater, like in high school, like my drama theater, like the actual auditorium space. um
Mhm.
and I essentially like sat and I just watched as she spoke. Um, that's that's what I was envisioning, as she spoke. And occasionally they would invite me up on the stage, and they would, like essentially like do like these performances like with the wand, and and that was cool, because I
I like
remember.
the wand. Yeah, the wand was really cool.
Yeah, they I liked the fact that they brought in the wand. I thought that was really cool. To essentially just, like it just showed me, like they are as geeky and nerdy and weird as me. Um,
Your higher self is you. So yeah.
as geeky and as nerdy, because I sort of felt like, like different energy. And I did get, as you were speaking, I got like different visuals of different things. And because you were asking certain questions, I couldn't, like it was sort of like I couldn't focus on them, but I got like different glimpses of people faces, like of past lives, like these little tidbits of like information that was like just really interesting to see. But at the very beginning it almost felt like imposter syndrome. I'm like, am I making this up? And then I was like, no, you watched her previous videos, how people thought that you're supposed to go with the flow, you're gonna ruin it. So I was like, it's not imposter syndrome. And then eventually it just started coming up with these answers that I was like, I would have had, I, how, like, I couldn't have possibly come up with that.
Yeah.
And so I was really amazed, with what they had to say. A bummer summer. I was there the whole time. I could have spoken up at any point in time. Like I was like, right. Like it honestly felt like I was on the coattail, like just like the whole time. And so she was like, can you sit down? The
Right.
difference the difference between myself and my higher self is like, no, I mean it is non-existent. She is me. um but the way my higher self was just so, like, I mean, you saw me, like you saw me like apologize for everything, and I just felt so bad. And I remember like I was like, like she, like even, it's just like a response like, oh man, she must think I'm weird, like she probably doesn't want to do this for me, like I'm probably bothering her, I gave her too many questions, and I, like, I'm sorry. And then my higher self was like, get sorry. What do you mean sorry? Like, this is
Right.
freaking great. You wanted to talk to me? Here I am. And my
Mhm.
higher self is just the most bodacious me that there is. Um, Obnoxiously and wonderfully so. And I love her. She's great.
Yeah. And so you have a choice now. with every moment of your life.
Mhm.
Because remember we talked about there's two parts, dumbing it down, okay? Because we have multiple, like, we're all over the multiverse, right?
Right.
There's different versions of us, but in this particular
Mhm.
version, there's two parts of us, right?
Right.
There's your personality, Nita,
Right.
okay? And then there's your higher self. And so you have a choice at every moment with every decision you make if you're going to be Nita or if you're going to be your higher self, right? That higher version of you that you met today,
Mhm.
that you love,
Yes,
right? She's
yes.
awesome,
She's so
right? So
freaking awesome. I did not expect her to talk that much because I had watched the other, the other videos where they were sort of like a lot more, like processing, like they were a lot quieter. Meanwhile,
yeah,
I sort of felt her just like energy full blown, and I
yeah,
was like, I did not expect this.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It was
Yeah, and everyone's different. I have a lot of sessions where their higher self is like yours, where it's just like, blah, 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 and I have a hard time typing and keeping up. I have 15 pages of notes for you. You broke my record.
Oh, I did it! I did a
15
thing.
pages is
I can
crazy.
feel I can feel her. I can feel her rejoicing right now. She's like, hell yeah! She's so
Yeah,
excited.
that's amazing.
I feel them like, oh, it's so great.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, she had a lot to say. So going back to my point, so every moment you have the choice to be your personality with all of your perceptions and your past not excuses, that's not what I meant. Past experiences and judgments and all of that, which you're working on evolving, right? So not to say that it's all bad or anything,
Mhm.
and there's nothing wrong if someone does choose, I just want to be my personality and I'm not going to do this whole spiritual ride this time, or they kind of go back and forth. But it sounds like you would rather be like, oh, I want to be all in higher self, right? Like
Yes. I'd
that's when
rather
you're
be
above
higher self
all
all
of
the time. I would rather
it.
be higher self all the time.
'Cause that's when you're above all of that trauma. You're all above all of the drama. You're above the need to be right. You're above the need for someone else to be wrong. Like all those things that are the personality or the ego, right? You're above all of that. Okay. Not to say that it's better because they're both just experiences, right? So, but you can be above that and you don't have to have this life that's full of drama and trauma. You
Right.
can actually experience this life neutrally, sort of like, but with joy, and be your true nature, which is bliss, right? Our true
Right.
nature is bliss. So I'm going to write down here, I have a recommendation of a book that talks more in depth of exactly what I'm talking about. And it's jumped to the pile of my huge list of books that I read and have read as far as spiritual growth. And it is called Book Recommendation, I Am, I Create by Erin Worley, Werley. And it goes into more detail about that. Um, you will love it. It's short.
Mhm.
So it's not a long read at all, but it's definitely one of those types of books that you're going to want to reread and reread and reread and reread. And your higher self will become, the more you read it and the more you ingest it and make it part of you, you will become automatically more of your higher self.
I'm so
Like it's one of
excited.
those books. Yeah.
I'm really I was so shocked to see because I thought it was going to be a complete just dissonance, between who I am and who she is. And I really thought, that I was gonna have like a more like elegant, almost British voice. Okay, I was picturing like, oh my sweet darling, you try so hard, like that's what I was expecting. And no, I got me minus the low self-esteem aspects.
Right.
And it was just so amazing to see how close, like I'm this close to being my highest self. It's just these traumas that I haven't worked through are, not there, minus the all-knowing aspect of my highest self.
Mm-hmm.
I am her. And I'm like, I came so, like, I'm so close to being her. And so now I understand what she meant, like, you plowed
Right.
through, your trials and tribulations. Like, I had a set amount of things that I needed to go through in my life, and I plowed through them. And that's why I'm so close to her, is because I went through all of the things that I needed to get to in order to meet her. And that's why spirituality came last, because
Mm.
they were like, we want you to do this right. Like, this is like your
Right.
reward for
Right.
nailing all of this.
Right.
And
If
so,
we
like,
find it, if we find it, we might circumvent some of these trials by realizing that, wait, I don't have to learn my lessons through pain and suffering. I can actually learn my life lessons through joy and be my true nature, blissful self. And then
right,
circumvent a lot of those problems, because you'd be looking at your aunt going, oh, isn't, like, in your head, oh, isn't she cute? Look at her trying to teach me all these lessons. She's so
she's so
cute. I see through
cute.
all this. I see through all this. This is just a play. She's just playing her part. Like, you wouldn't have had the emotion and everything with it that you now need to heal from, right? Because you
Right.
felt those things on a soul level.
Mhm.
So yeah. I mean, that's why we kind of saved the best for the last, right? Because now you're going to be able to
Right.
start seeing through this, that this is
Right.
all an illusion. These people are all here
Right.
as actors in my play. This is my
Exactly.
world.
I
My
am
world. You're just
the
living
main character. I
in it.
got cast the main
Yes.
role.
It's my world. You're just living in it, right? Yeah. And here's something else that I'll let you ponder on your own. But I've been told many times by higher selves that and one of the questions you may have seen on my list is, how many higher selves has this person had? Because our higher self has a higher self that has a higher self that has a higher self, right? So what happens is we merge with that next version, and then we are that version, that higher self, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we're not the same person we used to be, right?
Right.
And then that higher self becomes our next like level in a game. So it's like if you're in Pac-Man, you're in level 1, and then you conquer that level and you become that level, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to level 2 and then you merge with that. And now you get to go to level 3. And it's just the session I had yesterday, which is actually going to go on my YouTube channel also. Um, her higher self said it's infinite.
Mm-hmm.
There are infinite higher selves that you will be merging with. How cool is that? Right? More and more and more wisdom. Like, okay, just like the water you're supposed to be drinking, just give it to me. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. And I will tell you this. It's so funny. Think of this when you're thinking about drinking water, because I do every time I drink water. Everyone's higher self tells them they need to drink more water, but it was so funny because this one, it's hugely important for us and for many, many, many reasons. But this one, I love it. And her higher self said, drink so much water that it flows through you like a river. So every time I'm drinking water, I hear those words, let it flow like a river. That's how much water you should be drinking. So anyway, just think of that. Let it flow like a river through you. So you loved it?
It was so fun. I was there the whole time. Like, I was there. I was fully there. I was fully, like, I could have broken out at any point in time. I felt like the heaviness. I remember when I had to get up to go, like, potty.
Uh-huh.
Um I remember, like, getting, and I felt like so dizzy. I was like, whoa, what is happening?
Yeah.
I was like, that's because, remember how I was like, oh, like, imposter syndrome, like, this isn't it, because it was so close to me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this person was so identical to me. I literally thought it was me. I mean, she was, with
Yeah, yeah,
lack of, you know, down
yeah,
self-esteem.
yeah.
And it was insane, because the reason the thing that convinced me that I was like, no, you didn't make this up, was when I got up, I was like, whoa, like, I was like, to the
I saw you
bathroom.
struggle a little bit. Yeah.
I was like, what even? I
Yeah.
barely made it onto the toilet, Tracy. Like, I was so
Wow.
dizzy. It
Wow.
wasn't until I got, like, the cold water on my hands. I was trying to let it heat up. I was like, no, like, because that woke me up a little bit, and that's why it
Yeah.
took me a minute to get back down. And so
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I literally had a conversation with her. I don't know if it like played out. I don't know if it like happened audibly or
No,
not, but I was
no.
like, or like if hand gestures were made or something, because we made a lot of hand gestures. Like it was a combination of mine and hers. It was like a split put together. Um, and I was like, okay, you go, you go. And so I took my seat again, and I was like, go, 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 and
Right, right.
so she
Just
took the
Nita
stage
up.
again. Yeah,
Right.
no, like I sat down. There were a couple things where I was, a lot of times like I feel like I blocked her. Like I want to say I info blocked her. Or like there were things she didn't want to tell me because she couldn't come up with certain answers. And so I felt like I was blocking her because in the back of my mind, I was constantly doubting
Mm,
myself and
mm.
like it wasn't even the process that I was doubting. I was doubting myself, you
Right,
know? I wasn't doubting
right.
that it was real. I was doubting that I could do it.
Mm.
And so literally she just tried to like keep going. Like she was honestly like sit down, sit down. Um but she managed to keep going, and at one point she like literally she went but physically like put me down, and I felt like a hand on my shoulder that was like, would you chill?
Right.
Like
Well,
my turn.
so what you can do is in your meditations now you know what it feels like to be connected to your higher self. So what you can do in your meditations and just be like, because remember when you laid back down, I said, okay, let them plug back in, let your higher self plug back in. So however that looked to you, you can go into your meditation and however that felt, go in and be like, you know what, plug into me like you did in that hypnosis session that I had with Tracy, and let's connect like that again. And then you could give a message like, and I want to be able to remember what you're telling me, so maybe even just do it in brief chunks so that when you disconnect or unplug, you can get up and just start journaling it, whether it's your laptop there and you're just typing away, or you have a pen and paper, and just start journaling, and you're going to be able to get these same messages, right? Don't doubt yourself. Or you can even just do automatic writing where you're sitting there and you're just like, you have your keyboard in front of you and you're just like, okay, I'm going to be sitting up this time. I want you to plug into me. I'm going to consciously slow my brain wave down to that theta brainwave state,
Mhm.
right? Where your conscious
Right.
mind is just like loosening up. And automatic writing, obviously protect yourself and your space before you do that, okay?
Mhm.
Because you don't want
Right.
any negative influence, but don't fear it, okay? Don't manifest it by fearing it, but just know I'm protected, and they've already told you you're divinely protected. Just totally protect your space, and then just be like, I want you to speak to me through my keyboard, and then just plug into me, feel that plugging in, and then just start typing away and let
Mhm.
them
There
give you the
was a
message.
lot of physical body sensations. When I
Yeah.
say I mean a lot.
Yeah.
Like it felt like people were touching me.
Right.
And
Yeah.
at some point, like I started to get, like scared. And that's when my higher self was like, stop. That's why she kept repeating it. Because I was listening to her and I'm like, why are you repeating the same thing? Like, this is so me. I thought you were better than this. And the reason that she kept repeating it was because in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, like, oh my gosh, like the sensation, it's, like, it must be like a trickster spirit. It must be this. It must be that. And she was like, you're fine.
Mm,
Like you are protected. Like,
mm,
nothing's gonna get you.
mhm.
Like I'm here with my
Right.
freaking with her staff. Okay, like she's
Right.
here for me.
Right. Slinging it around.
Yes, like Sailor Moon. She literally made a staff out of a wand. Great.
Wow. Oh, I love it. You had an amazing session. I'm going to end the recording now because now the recording is 3 hours and 14 minutes long, and people watching this are probably like, oh my God, is this ever going to end? So it's different when you're watching it. When we experience it, right? Tell me,
Right.
we were outside of time and space.
Right. Hmm.
Like there was like no concept of time. Like for
Right.
us, it maybe felt like 15, 20 minutes, right?
Right. Hmm.
But yeah, to watch it, they're going through the whole 3 hours and 14 minutes because they weren't outside of time and space like we
Right.
were.
Right.
They're actually still in time watching this. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to do this because my days just fly when I do this. Because yeah, it's dark out already.
Right.
So I'll end this and thank everyone for watching. Thank you for sharing this on YouTube because I know people are going to watch your whole intake and hypnosis. When they hear your story, if you are watching this and you did not watch the intake session, OMG, you have to watch her intake session. Unfortunately, you're going to do it backwards, but it will make a lot of sense.
It's
On the
spicy.
questions. Yes. A life that I just think, oh my gosh, this girl, and she's like, I don't know if there's such a thing as normal, but you know what I mean? Like not in a psychiatric hospital. Really. I mean, literally, after everything you have experienced in your life, especially crunched into this short time frame because you're so young. It amazes me. You are amazing. All these amazing things that your higher self said about you are 100% true. So anyone watching this, if you did not see Nita's intake session, oh my God, you have to go watch it because she tells you her life story and it is quite a story. So, thank you so much for sharing this with me and with everyone else and letting me be your personal trainer for today.
So exciting.
I love it. I love being this spiritual personal trainer. I'm going to put that on my business card. I don't have a business card, but if I did, I'll put on my website. I'm your spiritual personal trainer.
12 out of 10 would do again.
Right. Yeah, speaking of which, I will be sending you the recording and all 15 pages of your notes. And I will be sending you a couple of links to leave reviews if you can. That would be amazing.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to hit the end button now for everyone on the recording. Stay around. And thank you everyone for watching.